The crystal chandelier above me fractures light into 1,000 diamonds. As I slip my wedding ring from my finger, 5 years of marriage reduced to a small circle of gold that burns against my palm. Before I drop it into my purse, the gala swirls around me in waves of silk and champagne laughter. Ryan stands 20 feet away, deep in conversation with his business partners. His familiar smile polite but distant. When did we stop looking at each other like we used to? When did his touch become routine instead of electric? You look like you're planning an escape, comes a voice behind me. I turn to find Marcus Stahl, dark-eyed, with the kind of smile that suggests he knows secrets you haven't told yet. He's been watching me. The realization sends warmth spiraling through my chest. Maybe I am. The words slip out before I can stop them. His laugh is low, intimate. And where would Samantha Walsh escape to? The way he says my maiden name makes my breath catch. How do you? We went to college together. You probably don't remember. He steps closer, close enough that I catch his scent cedar and something darker. But I remember you. The music shifts to something slower, more dangerous. Around us, couples drift onto the dance floor like moths to flame. Dance with me, Marcus says. Not a question. My heart hammers against my ribs. I shouldn't. I'm married. But my ring is buried in silk lining and Ryan hasn't looked my way once tonight. I don't think. His hand extends toward me, palm up, an invitation, a dare. Just feel. The moment my fingers touch his, electricity shoots up my arm. He leads me into the crowd of dancers, his hand settling at the small of my back with perfect pressure. We move together like we've done this before, like our bodies remember some ancient choreography. You're different than I expected, he murmurs against my ear, his breath warm. Different how? Sadder, more beautiful. The honesty in his voice stops my breath. When did anyone last see me really see me? Tell me about him. Marcus says as we sway. Your husband. Why would you want to know about him? Because I want to know everything about you, including what makes those shadows gather behind your eyes when you look at him. The song builds around us, violins climbing toward something desperate and lovely. Other couples blur into background. Color, there's only Marcus's dark eyes searching mine. Only the solid warmth of his chest beneath my palm. He's safe, I whisper. Predictable. And that's not enough anymore. It's not a question. He sees it all, my restlessness, my hunger for something real and wild and dangerous. Across the room, I catch a flash of familiar auburn hair. Olivia, my best friend since college, stands near the bar, but she's not looking at me. She's looking at Ryan with an expression I've never seen before. Something hungry, something calculating. The music stops. Marcus's hand lingers at my waist, a heartbeat too long. Thank you for the dance. Samantha, wait, but he's already stepping back, melting into the crowd like smoke. I'm left standing on the dance floor, pulse racing, skin humming from his touch. That's when I see it clearly. Olivia moving toward Ryan with predatory grace. Her red dress a slash of color against the black and white of his tuxedo. Something cold settles in my stomach as I watch my best friend lean close to my husband, her lips nearly brushing his ear. I push through the crowd, my heels clicking against marble like a countdown. Ryan's surprised laugh reaches me before I can see his face, surprised, but pleased. The sound cuts through me. When did he stop laughing like that with me? Samantha. Olivia's voice is honey sweet. As she spots me approaching, she steps back from Ryan, but not quickly enough. The air between them still shimmers with whatever she whispered. What were you two talking about? I try to keep my voice light, casual, just telling Ryan about the gallery opening next week. Olivia says smoothly. Her green eyes sparkle with something that makes my skin crawl. You should come. Both of you. Ryan's hand finds the small of my back, the same place Marcus touched minutes ago. But Ryan's touch feels different now. Familiar, comfortable, safe. Everything I thought I didn't want. We'd love to, Ryan says. And I catch the way his gaze lingers on Olivia's face, wouldn't we? Sam. When did I become Sam instead of Samantha? Of course, the lie tastes bitter. Olivia excuses herself with her kisses and meaningful looks, leaving us alone at our table. Ryan pulls out my chair, ever the gentleman. But I can't shake the image of him leaning into Olivia's whispered secrets. "You seem tense," he says, settling beside me. His fingers brush my left hand, and I freeze. Does he notice the absence of my ring? But his touch moves past my bare finger without pause. He doesn't notice. Of course he doesn't. Just tired. Long week. You've been having a lot of those. Lately. There's something in his tone, not accusation, exactly, but awareness. Like he's been watching me as carefully as I thought I'd been watching him. The orchestra begins another set. This time it's something achingly beautiful, all yearning strings, and whispered promises. Round us, couples drift back to the dance floor. "Dance with me?" Ryan asks. I should say yes. I should let my husband hold me, should try to remember why I married him. But all I can think about is Marcus's hands. The way he looked at me like I was something precious and wild. "Maybe later," I whisper. Hurt flickers across Ryan's face. Gone so quickly I might have imagined it. But I didn't, and the guilt hits me like a physical blow. "I'll get us some champagne," he says, standing. His jaw is tight. I watch him walk away, shoulders straight, and something inside me cracks. 5 years of marriage, and I'm sitting here thinking about another man while my husband fetches me champagne. What kind of person does that make me? He's a good man. I spin around. Marcus stands behind my chair, hands in his pockets, looking devastatingly handsome in the low light. He is, I agree, though the words feel strange. But good isn't always enough, is it? He moves around the table, settles into Ryan's vacant chair. The intimacy of him in my husband's place makes my pulse skip. "You don't know anything about my marriage. I know you took off your wedding ring 20 minutes ago." His eyes drop to my bare left hand. "I know you danced with me like you were drowning and I was air. And I know you're sitting here looking like your heart is breaking while your husband brings you champagne." Heat floods my cheeks. "You're very presumptuous. I'm very observant." He leans closer, his voice dropping to something rough and private. "Tell me I'm wrong, Samantha. Tell me you're happy, and I'll walk away right now." The words should come easily. I should be able to defend my marriage, my choices, my life. But they stick in my throat like stones. "I thought so," Marcus murmurs. Across the room, I see Ryan at the bar, waiting patiently for our drinks. He doesn't see Olivia approaching him from behind. Doesn't see the way. She slides up beside him, like they've planned this moment. My stomach turns to ice. She wants him. I whisper before I can stop myself. Marcus follows my gaze. His expression darkens. And he's too good a man to see it coming. We watch in silence as Olivia touches Ryan's arm, leans close to say something that makes him smile. That surprised, pleased smile again. What are you going to do about it?" Marcus asks quietly. I think about my wedding ring, buried in silk and secrets. I think about the way Marcus looked at me when we danced, like I was someone worth wanting. I think about 5 years of comfortable routine and the slow death of everything that once made me feel alive. I don't know, I breathe. But even as the words leave my lips, I'm already reaching for my purse. My fingers find the cool metal of my wedding ring buried beneath lipstick and breath mints. For a moment, I just hold it, feeling its familiar weight against my palm. "Don't," Marcus says softly. I look up to find him watching me with an intensity that steals my breath. "Don't what? Don't put it back on yet. Not until you're sure." "Sure of what?" "That you want to wear it." The honesty in his voice cuts through me. Across the room, Ryan is still talking to Olivia, but now she has her hand on his chest, fingers spread over his heart, like she owns it. Something inside me snaps. I drop the ring back into my purse and stand. I need some air. "Samantha, wait." But I'm already moving, pushing through the crowd toward the French doors that lead to the garden. The night air hits my flushed skin like a blessing, cool and sweet with the scent of jasmine. The garden is mostly empty, just shadows and moonlight, and the distant sound of music drifting from the ballroom. I find a secluded bench near the fountain and sink onto it, my head in my hands, running away. I don't look up as Marcus settles beside me, close enough that I can feel the warmth radiating from his body. Thinking, dangerous territory. Despite everything, I laugh. "You have no idea. Try me." I finally meet his eyes in the moonlight. His face is all sharp angles and mysterious shadows. "Why are you here, Marcus, really?" "Because I saw a woman." slip off her wedding ring, and dance like she was afraid she'd forgotten how. His fingers brush mine where they rest on the bench between us. Because I've been thinking about you for 10 years, and tonight I finally got to find out if you were as extraordinary as I remembered, and more. The word is barely a whisper, so much more. His hand covers mine completely now, his thumb tracing circles on my wrist, such a simple touch, but it sets my entire nervous system on fire. I'm married, I whisper, are you? Because, from where I'm sitting, it looks like you're just wearing the costume. The truth of it hits me like a physical blow. That's exactly what my marriage has become, a costume I put on every morning, a role I play. When did it happen? I ask, more to myself than to him. When did I stop being me? You're still you. His free hand rises to cup my cheek, and I lean into the touch without thinking. You're just buried under 5 years of other people's expectations. And what do you expect? Nothing. His thumb traces my cheekbone. I just want to see who you are when you stop pretending. The words break something open inside me. Before I can think, before I can stop myself, I turn my face into his palm and press my lips to his skin. He tastes like salt and promises, Samantha. He breathes, don't talk. I pull back just enough to meet his eyes. Please, just don't talk. He studies my face for a long moment, reading secrets I didn't know I was telling. Then his hand slides into my hair, and he draws me toward him with exquisite slowness. Our lips meet like a question and an answer all at once. The kiss starts, soft, tentative, but the moment I respond, something ignites between us. His other arm comes around my waist, pulling me closer, and I go willingly, desperately. He tastes like champagne and danger and everything I've been starving for without knowing it. When his tongue traces my lower lip, I open for him with a soft sound that makes him groan against my mouth. This isn't just attraction. This is recognition. This is coming home to a place I never knew existed. When we finally break apart, we're both breathing hard. His forehead rests against mine, his hands still tangled in my hair. I should go back inside. I whisper, should. His lips brush mine as he speaks. But will you? Before I can answer, the crunch of footsteps on gravel breaks the spell. We spring apart just as a figure emerges from the shadows near the ballroom doors. Olivia stands there in her red dress, beautiful and terrible in the moonlight. Her eyes take in the space between Marcus and me, the guilt written across my face. The way his hand still hovers near my cheek. Her smile is sharp enough to cut glass. Well, she says, her voice carrying clearly across the garden. This is interesting. The blood drains from my face. Behind her, I can see the warm glow of the ballroom, hear the distant sound of laughter and music. My real life, waiting just beyond the French doors, and somewhere in there, my husband is probably wondering where I've gone. Olivia, I start. Don't worry, she purrs, already turning back toward the ballroom. Your secret is safe with me. But something in her tone tells me that safety is the last thing she's offering. I watch Olivia's red dress disappear through the French doors like spilled blood against white silk. The garden suddenly feels too small, too exposed, as if the shadows themselves have turned into witnesses. She won't tell him, Marcus says quietly, but uncertainty threads through his voice. You don't know Olivia. I press my hands to my cheeks, trying to cool the fire burning there. She's been my best friend for 15 years, but she's also what? Calculating. She doesn't do anything without a reason. We sit in heavy silence, the fountain's gentle splash suddenly too loud. I think about the way Olivia looked at Ryan tonight, the hunger in her eyes, the way she leaned close to whisper in his ear. My stomach churns. I need to go back, I whisper. Samantha, wait. Marcus catches my hand as I start to rise. What just happened between us was a mistake. The words taste like ash, but I force them out, because sitting here in the moonlight with his fingers tangled through mine, I can almost forget that I have a husband inside who loves me. A marriage that might be broken, but isn't buried yet. You don't believe that. His grip tightens. I can see it in your eyes, feel it in the way you kissed me. It doesn't matter what I believe. I pull free and stand, smoothing my dress with shaking hands. I made vows to a man who doesn't see you anymore. The accusation hits like a slap. You don't know him. You don't know us. I know you're unhappy. I know you took off your wedding ring tonight because some part of you is already gone from this marriage. He stands to, moving closer, his voice rough with frustration. I know you kissed me like you were drowning. Stop. And I know she's in there right now, telling him exactly what she saw. The possibility hits me like a physical blow. I think of Olivia's sharp smile, the way she said interesting, like she was already planning how to use this moment. I gather my skirts and run. The ballroom is a blur of faces and music as I push through the crowd, searching. They're near the bar, exactly where I left them, Ryan and Olivia, heads bent together in intimate conversation. As I watch, Olivia's hand covers his on the bar top, a gesture of comfort, of understanding. My heart stops. I can't hear their words over the orchestra, but I can read their body language like a book written in a language I suddenly, desperately wish I didn't know. Olivia's face is a mask of concern and sympathy. Ryan's expression grows darker with each word she speaks. He's not looking at her with surprise anymore. He's looking at her with recognition, like pieces of a puzzle are finally clicking into place. I'm still frozen at the edge of the dance floor when Ryan's eyes find mine across the room. For a heartbeat, we just stare at each other. His face is carefully blank, but I can see the hurt lurking underneath, the disappointment, the knowing. Olivia follows his gaze and offers me a small wave, her smile sweet as poison. They know. My hands shake as I clutch my purse, feeling the weight of my wedding ring inside like an accusation. The music swells around me, couples spinning in their beautiful, perfect orbits, and I realize I'm standing in the center of my marriage's destruction, wearing a cocktail dress and heels that suddenly feel too high. Ryan says something to Olivia. Polite dismissal and starts moving toward me through the crowd. Each step is measured, controlled. The walk of a man who's just learned something that changes everything. Sam. He stops just close enough to be heard over the music. We need to talk. It's not a request. I nod, not trusting my voice. We make our way to a quieter corner near the windows, away from the dancing and laughter. The silence between us feels like a living thing, hungry and dangerous. How long? He asks quietly. Ryan. How long, Samantha? The use of my full name stops my breath. He never calls me Samantha anymore. Not unless he's angry or hurt, or both. Tonight, I whisper. Just tonight. Something flickers across his face. Relief, disappointment. I can't tell. Olivia said you were in the garden. With him. Yes. Kissing him. The word drops between us like a stone into still water. I watch the ripples spread across his face. See 5 years of marriage crack along fault lines I didn't even know existed. Yes, I breathe. He nods slowly, like he's absorbing a blow. Why? It's such a simple question, such an impossible one to answer. I don't know, I whisper. That's not good enough. His voice is still quiet, controlled, but I can hear the fractures underneath. I'm your husband, Sam. I deserve better than. I don't know. He's right. He does deserve better. Better than a wife who takes off her wedding ring at parties. Better than a woman who kisses strangers in gardens while he fetches her champagne. Better than me. I felt invisible, I say finally, like I was disappearing a little more every day. And when he looked at me, I felt alive again. The honesty hangs between us like a bridge neither of us wants to cross. I've been trying, Ryan says, and the pain in his voice breaks my heart. I've been trying so hard to make you happy, Sam. But nothing I do is ever enough anymore. That's not true, isn't it? He steps closer, and I can see the exhaustion written in the lines around his eyes. When was the last time you really looked at me? Not through me, not past me, but at me. I open my mouth to answer, but the words won't come, because he's right. I've been so focused on feeling unseen that I never noticed he felt the same way. I love you. He whispers. I've loved you for 8 years, married to you for 5, and I don't know how to reach you anymore. The admission cracks something open inside me. This beautiful, patient man who brings me champagne and pulls out my chairs and tries so hard to make me happy. When did I stop seeing how much he loves me? When did I start taking his devotion for granted? I'm sorry, I breathe. Ryan, I'm so sorry. Are you? His eyes search mine. Or are you just sorry you got caught? The question hits like a physical blow, and I realize I don't know the answer. The words hang between us, sharp and terrible. Around us, the gala continues its glittering dance, but we exist in a bubble of brutal honesty that makes everything else feel distant and unreal. I don't know, I whisper, and the admission tastes like blood. Ryan flinches as if I'd struck him. For a moment, his careful control cracks, and I see the raw hurt underneath. Then his mask slides back into place. At least you're being honest now. Ryan, no. He holds up a hand, stopping me. You've said enough for one night. He turns to walk away, but I catch his arm. Please, can we go home and talk about this? Really talk. Like we should have been doing for months. The bitterness in his voice cuts deep. Years, maybe. The truth of it hits me like a slap. We've been coexisting, not communicating, sharing a bed but not sharing our hearts. When did we become strangers living under the same roof? You're right. I say quietly, we should have talked. I should have told you how I was feeling instead of taking off your wedding ring and kissing another man. The words are delivered softly, but they land like blows. I deserve each one. Yes, we stand there in the corner of the ballroom, the weight of 5 years of marriage pressing down on us like gravity. I can feel my wedding ring in my purse, that small circle of gold that suddenly feels like it weighs 1,000 pounds. Who was he? Ryan asks. Someone from college. I barely remembered him, but he remembered you. It's not a question. Ryan has always been observant, always been able to read the spaces between words, apparently. And you felt something with him. I could lie. I could tell him it meant nothing, that it was just a moment of weakness, that I love only him. But I'm tired of lies, tired of pretending. Yes, I whisper, I felt something. The admission hangs between us like a death sentence. Ryan's jaw tightens, but he doesn't look away. Something you don't feel with me anymore. That's not, I start, then stop, because isn't it true? When was the last time Ryan's touch set my skin on fire? When was the last time his kiss left me breathless? It's not that simple, I finish weakly, isn't it? He steps closer, his voice dropping to something rough and private. When was the last time you wanted me, Sam, really wanted me? The question hits me like a physical blow. I open my mouth to answer, but the words won't come, because I can't remember. Somewhere in the comfortable routine of marriage, desire had been replaced by duty. Passion had been replaced by habit. I thought so, he says quietly. Across the room, I catch sight of Olivia watching us, her green eyes bright with something that might be satisfaction. She raises her champagne glass in a small salute that makes my stomach turn. She's been waiting for this, I say suddenly. What, Olivia? She's been waiting for us to fall apart. Ryan follows my gaze, his expression darkening. What are you talking about? The way she looks at you, the way she touched your arm tonight. She wants you, Ryan. She's always wanted you. For a moment, something flickers across his face. Recognition, maybe, or confirmation of something he'd already suspected. That doesn't excuse what you did. He says finally, I know. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm just saying, maybe we've both been blind to things right in front of us. We fall silent again. But this time it feels different. Less like an ending and more like a pause. Like we're both gathering courage for whatever comes next. I want to save this, I say suddenly. Our marriage, I want to fight for it. Do you? Ryan's eyes search mine. Or do you just want to win? The question stops me cold. Do I want my marriage back? Or do I just want to beat Olivia at a game I didn't even realize we were playing? I reach into my purse and pull out my wedding ring. It catches the light from the chandeliers, throwing tiny rainbows across my palm. I took this off tonight because I felt trapped, I say quietly. But I think I was just trapped in the wrong story about us, about what we'd become. Ryan's eyes fix on the ring in my palm. And what story do you want to tell now? I think about Marcus in the garden, the way he saw me as someone worth wanting. I think about the woman I used to be, the one who took risks and felt things deeply. I think about the man standing in front of me, who's loved me patiently for 5 years while I slowly forgot how to love him back. I want to tell the story about the woman who almost lost herself, but found her way back. I whisper about the man who loved her enough to fight for their marriage, even when she'd forgotten how to fight for it herself. Slowly, deliberately, I slide the ring back onto my finger. It settles into its familiar groove like a promise being renewed. I can't promise it will be easy. I tell him, I can't promise I won't mess up again, but I can promise I want to try. Really try. Ryan is quiet for a long moment, his eyes moving between my face and the ring on my finger. It would mean counseling. He says finally, real work. No more just coexisting. Yes, it would mean learning how to want each other again, how to see each other, yes. And it would mean dealing with the fact that my best friend's wife kissed another man tonight. The words hit me like cold water. She's not your best friend, Ryan. Look at her. We both turn toward Olivia, who's now talking to Marcus near the bar. As we watch, she touches his arm, leans close to whisper something that makes him step back, shaking his head. She's trying to get information about tonight, I realize, about what happened between us. Ryan's expression hardens. Jesus, Sam, how long has this been going on? I don't know, I think maybe longer than either of us realized. As we watch, Marcus walks away from Olivia, leaving her standing, alone at the bar. For just a moment, her mask slips, and I see the calculation underneath. The planning dot, the hunger dot. Ryan sees it too. I can tell by the way his posture changes, the way his protective instincts kick in. We're going home, he says quietly. Now, I nod, suddenly desperate to leave this glittering room full of secrets and lies. But as we start toward the exit, Marcus appears in our path. Samantha. His eyes move between Ryan and me, taking in our joined hands, the ring back on my finger. Something that might be disappointment flickers across his face. I wanted to say goodbye. This is my husband, Ryan, I say, my voice steadier than I expected. The men shake hands. A careful dance of civility and tension. Marcus's grip lingers, a moment too long, his eyes holding mine. Take care of yourself, Samantha, he says quietly, and remember you deserve to feel alive. Then he's gone, disappearing into the crowd like smoke. Ryan's hand tightens on mine as we walk toward the door. He's right, you know, he says as we step into the cool night air. You do deserve to feel alive. I stop walking, turn to face him. On the steps of the hotel. So do you. Then let's figure out how to do that, he says, together. The word hangs between us like a promise, not the easy promise of our wedding day, when love felt simple and sure, but the harder promise of two people who've seen the worst of each other and chosen to stay anyway. As the valet brings our car round, I catch one last glimpse of the ballroom through the glass doors. Olivia stands alone near the windows, watching us leave. Even from here, I can see the calculation in her posture, the way she's already planning her next move. Let her plan. For the first time in months, I'm not running towards something else. I'm choosing what I already have, and I'm choosing to fight for it. The ring on my finger catches the streetlight as Ryan helps me into the car, and for the first time tonight, it feels like it belongs there. Not because it's comfortable or safe or expected, but because it's true.